Hello everybody, Johnny Wilson here, and we're working on some lower limb strength. Great exercise if you're suffering from a high hamstring tendinopathy. So a high hamstring tendinopathy is like chronic pain which is up around the gluteal area. So the hamstrings insert to a little bony prominence called the ischial tuberosity, and sometimes you can get some inflammatory changes there. You can get some micro tearing, you can get some peritendinous edema, and this can all cause pain and so on and so forth. So this is a great exercise, number one, for mechanotransduction. So mechanotransduction is when you load tissue. It's a form of pain gating which brings down the pain response. So it's a good way to reduce pain levels, and also it's a good way to increase type 1 collagen and fibroblast formation, so upregulating the tissue around there to help develop a stronger tendon. Now when it comes to high hamstring tendinopathies, they're usually aggravated by repetitive activities. So long distance runners get a lot of that, maybe from sitting on hard surfaces for a long time. Usually they're a little bit sore when you palpate in around the area. And if you're constantly doing hip flexion and knee extension at the same time, you're pulling on the insertion areas at the same time. So there's maximal stretch and tension distally around the knees where they attach on the lateral and medial aspect, and then proximally, so closer to the heart, where they attach on the ischial tuberosity. So this is an exercise we call ankling. So I'm going to show you the progressions of this, and then I'm also going to tell you the prescription on how we do it. And again, it's loading up the posterior chain. So the posterior chain is everything that's behind me, the chain of muscles, so all the muscles that are here, it's loading those up. And then my anterior is here. So all I'm doing is I am on the floor like this, and I'm going to keep my knees relatively straight, okay? And that's the whole idea. And ankling is when you go to dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. So we'll be bringing the toes back to the nose for dorsiflexion and away for plantar flexion. So what I'll be doing is I'll be lying on the ground like that. I can put my hands here if I need a little bit of support, and I'm going to raise my bum up off the ground. So you might not be able to see it here because my jumper might be hitting, but I can get my hands truly underneath there, okay? So I'm in an outer range bridge, so a long lever bridge, and what I'm going to do now is in a double leg, so both legs on the ground, I'm going to go 20 plantar flexion to dorsiflexion. Now I'm feeling the strain behind my knees at the moment. I'm making sure that my knee angle stays the same, and the only thing that should be moving here is the plantar flexion to dorsiflexion, just like that. Really tough exercise. So if I want to progress that, what I can do is I can go into single leg. So I raise one leg off the ground, and then I do this the other leg. I might need to use my hands for a little bit of balance here. So outer range, and then plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, head on the ground, and I've effectively doubled the weight going through the hamstrings. Now the really good thing about this is that it's kind of isometric. There'll be a little bit of movement down here on the hamstrings, but where they attach onto the ischial tuberosity, where the issue is, where the pain is, it's relatively, the isometric means that there's no change in the length of the tissue up there. So you get a little bit of, I guess, some gliding around the knee. And so it's a good exercise, non-provocative exercise for high hamstring tendinopathies. Now, if I want to make that a little bit more difficult again, I can use any type of weight. I've just got a medicine ball here. Pop up into that position. Make sure I'm in outer range. The other leg comes up. And again, my repetitions here might be a little less. And that is quite a substantial load going through the hamstrings. When I do this, 2 to 3 times a week, I would try to load this exercise up as heavy as I possibly could do. So if I'm really looking for strength, I'm probably looking between 8 to 10 reps. If I'm looking for strength endurance, I'm probably doing 5 sets of 20. So it depends on where I am in my rehab. Not particularly a power exercise. There's no real rate of force development here. So it's not about speed of contraction. It's more a case of loading the tissue as heavy as we can, or as long as we can. So there might be some volume, or you might have time under tension. So you might do 5 sets of 60 seconds. But a really good exercise if you're struggling from chronic pain and irritability where the hamstrings attach around the gluteal area. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to our channel at Nottingham Physio.